As near as I can tell, it's really tough to change a police force.
It is. You know, police departments accept certain types of change very, very well, and other types of change very, very resistant. Okay, what kind of changes do they take very, very well? Changes in tools and equipment. Oh, yeah. Oh, I want that new thing. Oh, that new car, man. Oh, that video camera. Oh, man, that new gun. Oh, man, yeah. So it's the change. I was at a point in time, too, where the leadership of generations were changing. Oh. Equipment things they change. Procedures and policies and hiring. What do we got to hire them for? One of my first academies, the big academy, was 1994, I believe it was. I was hiring about 50 people, got some Clinton money. And we had vacancies for like about 25, maybe 20, 25. I was going to put another 25 in there. And I said to my deputy chief, I said, I want to look real hard for hiring some women. How many women should we hire? I said, half the class. Half the class. I said, we got half the class is qualified. I got enough to fill at least 25 positions there of qualified females. I want to put 25 in there. I said, yeah, that's what we're going to do. I said, make sure we got qualified ones. Well, you know, women, you know, I said, I don't want to hear the old biases on women can't. I said, I'll hire them. I said, give them the opportunity. I said, they don't measure up in the academy, I'll fire them. I said, I can fire anybody else. I said, but they measure up. I said, I don't want any shenanigans pulled on them. And so they went in there. I'm getting calls from wives. Oh, you rotten chief. What? You're hiring all them young women to work in there alongside my husband. Well, they're qualified candidates. They have a right to be St. Paul police officers, and yes, they're female. Well, that's going to cause problems for me and my husband. I said, you know, ma'am, I can only rate them and judge them on their job performance here. And I says, everybody's an adult. Now, what happens off the job sometimes gets them in trouble. I said, but you don't expect me to police that, do you? So we got another. And I get the old timers, the guys in my class, oh, Finney, man, you're going to degrade the ability of the police department to do their jobs. And I said, so you're going to find out a lot of these women are tougher than what you think they are. I said, hey, guys, you guys are the field training officers. You get them out there in the field, and they don't measure up to those things you got to measure them objectively. I says, then we'll get rid of them. I says, but I says, each new rookie is going to have at least 3 field training officers, different times. I said, it's going to take 2 of you to say get rid of them. I think what do you have attitude problems with them? And I said, I ain't investing all that money into them. I said, we're going to make sure and give them an opportunity to try. I said, we're going to do that. I said, and the rules apply the same for the guys too. And so we did that. They got on there, well, they liked it, but it took them a while. And yeah, there were some marital problems, but you know, they were happening. What can I do about that? Thing on TV yesterday talking about the dearth of women in top administrations of corporations, et cetera, et cetera. And they had 2 women on there. One was talking about, well, you really need to have more mentorship. And I said, mentorship's important. I said, one thing the guys have that you don't have is a sponsor. That sponsorship. That's more important than mentorship. I mean, mentorship gets you to a certain level, but then you got to have a sponsor that pull you in there, put you in the right position, bring you to the right kind of parties, and so you can get exposed, so you can get appreciated for now your talents, and then help you walk through that landmine to get to where you can be in a position where now you can help somebody else, hopefully. I would always try to, I don't like to do sanctions, because I had ranking officers spank me, and I had it coming. The difference between the millenniums, some Gen Xers, and the baby boomers before is the baby boomers before, you knew you got wrong, you knew you did it, and you got caught, so you went in, took your punishment. Okay, you hope they didn't hurt you too bad. The millenniums, a larger percentage of them, they do it wrong, and they want to explain their way out of it. I'm going like, do you recognize I'm the police chief? Yeah. You were told not to do this. I understood that. Well, I didn't agree with your decision, so I did it anyway. And you got caught. So now here's the consequences. Well, why should I take the consequences? Well, don't you expect people that you tell what to do on their job out on the street to do what you tell them to, or if they don't you give them a consequence? Yeah, but I'm a police officer. Well, I'm the police chief. I'm a cop over cops. Don't you understand that relationship? Ranking officers are here to keep you guys in line for the citizens. I still don't see why I need to be punished for it. I said, well, I tell you what, take 5 days off and think about it. Look, that's the arrogance. New car, want the brand new computer, want the brand new this, that, and the other, because we're new and we're deserving. It's the whole attitudinal thing.
Entitlement.
It's an entitlement attitude. And so then you get that young officer who's 21, 22 years old, who now stops a 19-year-old who's basically the same age he is, who's got the same attitude, and then the young kid is getting stopped. Hey, cop, what'd you stop me for? Well, you were speeding. Well, who says? I did. Now you got two immovable forces there, right? And then one's a police officer. Guess who's going to win this argument? you got, where do your officers come from, first of all? Most of your officers are middle class, maybe lower middle class. We used to get a lot of upper poor class in law enforcement, but usually solidly middle class. Now it is, since now you got a college education. Increasingly, a lot of them are not city dwellers, they're suburban dwellers. So the exposure to a lot of diversity is not what the city dweller would have gotten. And if they got any exposure to different groups and crowds, it might have been through college. And a lot of them don't stay on campuses, you know, the suitcase college, you know, or now they can do it internet, you know, online. And so they really don't get into learning the dynamics of other group interactions at all. They don't have that practical experience, or more so experience. They don't have even the comfort level of doing it. And so we have to teach them a lot of things that I didn't have to teach them. Okay, for example, I was finding out toward the end of my tenure of that, when I had a police academy, and we were trying to hire people of color, that what we were getting were kids of color that came from the suburb too.
Huh.
So now, where I used to have to take white guys out of the suburbs and teach them how to interact and understand what's going on with their personal dynamics of poor white kids. Now you can make that task even more difficult when you figure out they got to understand not only poor white kids, inner city white kids, but black kids, Mexican kids, Latinos, you know, Somalis, all that, all these different groups that they have no idea they ever going to come in contact with and really didn't have any desire to. Okay, and so those are the things that are challenges in the police academies now. They don't understand that. They're middle class kids. They don't understand poor kids. They don't understand their lifestyle. Kids live in projects? Yeah. Why don't they just get a job? Generation of the poor? Well, don't they understand if they do that they're going to go to jail? Yeah. But jail's not the threat that it is to you. Why not? Because many members of their family have been to prison or are in prison. And to them it's higher learning. I said, so it doesn't have the negative, you know, stigma that it does for a middle class person. So yeah, I'm somebody because my uncle, who's the leader of this gang, is in the joint, and when I get up there, I'm going to be cool when I get there. Yeah, 5 years, I can do 5 years, I'm 19. I says, you're thinking, you can't do 9 days in a jail cell, and he's talking about doing 5 years. It's not a deterrent here, guys, you have to understand them. Okay? All right. And so, you know, the guy threatened me, said he'd kill me. Probably wouldn't want to do the time for that, but understand that's not negative either, going to prison. If you go to prison for killing a cop, that's pretty high on the food chain up there. Yeah, it is. You remember everybody's in jail there because some cop put them in jail. Yeah. So as a cop, young officer, you never want to do anything where you get put in jail alongside the people who get put in jail by other cops. Because it ain't going to be good for you. And I said, other thing is, guys, I said, I can't overemphasize this. Stay in contact with people that are non-cops outside the job. They'll help you keep grounded in what's real to the people out here that you're doing your service for. I says, they'll tell you when you, the emperor, has no clothes. When your attitudes are contrary to what they believe the police officer should have. You need to hear that and understand what it is that people being served are thinking about you providing the service.